Here's 3 lessons that I learned the hard way as a data scientist. Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. My name is Leon. I'm a data scientist based in the UK. So in my very short time of working as a data scientist, there's already a few lessons that I think are worth sharing, especially if you are looking to work in the same field. So I'm going to keep this video short. Here are the timestamps, and in this video, I'm going to go over 3 key lessons that I think are worth sharing as a data scientist, and let's get right into it. When doing a data science project, make sure to double and triple check your numbers. There's often a lot of technical details that data scientists have to focus on, so it's easy to forget what's important, and that's extracting useful and valid insights from data. If any of the numbers don't make sense in your project, then you could very well have invalidated all of your work. And if that keeps happening, then nobody's going to take your work seriously anymore. Personally, at work, I've made the same mistake even for very basic tasks. And honestly, when it does happen, it is embarrassing, but the only thing you can do is learn from it and make sure that the next time around, you're a little bit more paranoid to avoid making the same mistake. I think I'd rather be overly paranoid even if it takes me longer to finish the project, just so I have more confidence before sharing my work. Another thing is, if your calculations are a little bit more complicated, then I would suggest leaving some notes or writing some comments, just so in the future, if you do come back to your work, at least you'll understand how you arrived at these numbers. Every time I've done that, my future self has been extremely thankful for it. I used to have a habit of diving headfirst into the data, which I think a lot of data scientists can relate to, but that usually left me with a project that isn't as well structured with overcomplicated code. Now, I think normally this would be fine, especially with smaller projects, but if you are working on a larger, more serious project, then if you are to dive headfirst into the data, you should definitely refine it as early as possible. I've had plenty of projects that I've done a long time ago where when I revisit them, I have absolutely no idea what I did. This only wastes yours and everybody else's time. The code should be kept as simple as possible with adequate comments so that you know what's happening, and if anybody looks through your work from the beginning to the end, they should be able to understand what it was that you were trying to do. The way you structure your project files should make sense, especially if you're working with multiple people. For example, there shouldn't be any notebooks and CSV files mixed together with random scripts all in the same folder. If it's a serious project, then these should be separated into individual folders, and the code should be modularized as much as possible. This means that when something goes wrong, you can figure it out much easier. I actually have an in-depth video on how to structure and organize your data science projects, which I'll link in the card above. I think it's well worth checking out if that's what you're currently struggling with. When there's data available, it's the question you ask that determines what you'll do with the data. A lot of the time, if people know you're a data scientist, they'll ask you a lot of data-related questions. But the reality is, not every question is worth answering. What I've learned is that it's always good to question the question. Why are they asking this? Is it worth looking into from a business perspective? Try to get them to explain why it's beneficial to answer this question. And if it's unreasonable or impractical, then you'll just have to politely decline, because realistically, data science consists mainly of data cleaning. It can take a long time just to get the data into the right format to answer a single question. If you say yes to too many things, you'll end up burdening yourself with too many requests, which will prevent you from moving in the right direction. So question the question and make sure you properly manage your priorities if you do get asked a lot of questions. Now, these were just some of the things that I've learned in my short time as a data scientist, but I do have a video up here on the 5 things that I wish I knew before becoming a data scientist. And since I talked about projects, you might be interested in this video up here on the 5 types of data science projects that I recommend for beginners. You can also follow me on Instagram, and if you want to see more content like this, please like and subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and I'll see you in the next one.